Hello VC, this is another Vinyl Finds video of pickups that I've gotten recently. This one is full of holy grails, upgrades, and other rare stuff. I think I have 11 records, all psychedelic bands. This one is July in Mexico. This is July from the UK that came out in 1969. This is the Mexican pressing. It originally came out on Major Minor. This is psychedelic pop psych. Normally I like my psych over easy and hard, over easy and hard, but not really poppy. But this one really works. Look at this cover, beautiful cover. It's all in Spanish except for the lyrics to My Clown. What a Little Boy Is Made Of is the beginning of a nursery rhyme. This came out in the UK in mono, and then when it came out in the United States, it was in stereo, and I guess the mono is the version you want. And at Den Bosch this year, I had a couple different people looking for a UK mono, but it was very pricey. Someone had it for sale for 3,500 euros, so that's not going to be coming my way. So I'm settling for this to get the mono version. This is the Mexican mono. It also was released in Brazil in mono and Japan in stereo. And that's a good album. The band members, Tony Duhigg was the guitar player, and John Field was the keyboardist. They went on to form Jade Warrior. Tom Newman, the lead singer, he went on to produce Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells, a bunch of other Mike Oldfield albums. And interesting Beatles fact that when the movie To Get Back, Tom brought a painting, and it's right next to Ringo's drum kit when you watch the movie. And at the end of the movie, you see a guy in a maroon jacket, and he comes and grabs that painting, and that is Tom. I put a link in the description of an interesting interview with Tom talking about how he got on the roof on that day. July 1969, great album.
I think you deceive me. You are just my clown, but I love my clown more than you love. So
The Sacred Mushroom. This came out in 1969 on Parallax. This is blues rock, psych. It's more blues than psych. The singer and guitar player in this band were brothers. They were a band from 66 to 1969. They do a cover of T-Bone Walker's Mean Old World, and also a cover of the Kinks' I'm Not Like Everybody Else. I prefer the Chocolate Watchband's version on Inner Mystique a year earlier, and I actually did an Acid Archives video on that album, and I'll leave a link in the description of that video. But this version is good. It's more bluesy. This is rare and desirable. It's super clean. It's on the Parallax. I'm happy to have added this to my collection.
I'm not like everybody else. 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 I'm not gonna mope around like everybody else. I'm not gonna spend my time like everybody else. I won't say they laugh, that's fine.
This is The Litter Distortion. This came out in 1967. This is garage rock. Really good album, full of interesting
good covers. The first track, Action Woman, would be released years later on the Pebbles 1 soundtrack, and that would kind of revitalize their career, the popularity. The labels, the owner of the label and the producer, Warren Kendrick, he produced their first 2 albums. He would the next year produce the Paisley self-titled album, and I loved that album. It's one of my favorite Psych album. This album completes my trifecta of Litter albums. The first album, 1967 Distortion. The second album is 1968's $100 Fine, and 1969's Emerge is their third album. So finally I have 3 OGs. I'm going to do a deep dive video on the Litter here soon, so I'm not going to talk too much about these guys in this video, but I'm glad I finally was able to pick this up. The Litter, 1967 Distortions. The cover looks more psychedelic than the music itself, because again, this is pretty much garage rock. This next one is Josefus Dead Man. This came out in 1970 on Hookah Records. Like Sacred Mushroom, this is blues, psych rock. This is from Texas. I already have this. I've got a really poor cover, so I bought this strictly for the cover. This is a cover upgrade. Lance at Permanent Records knew I was looking to upgrade my copy, and he called me, and I jumped at it. The vinyl is still like a G+, pretty much like what I already have, but it plays well. And now I'm still going to need a vinyl upgrade, but I'm happy to have this. The song Dead Man is a standout track. It's 17 minutes and 30 seconds of crazy guitar, blues, psych. I did a video about this album for the Acid Archives about 6 months back. I'll put a link in the description for that video. But my upgrade, Josefus Dead Man. Morgen, self-titled Morgen. This came out in 1969 on Probe. This is another one-album band from 1969. He was active for about 3 years. It's psychedelic rock. Really, really great psychedelic rock. Highly sought after. There's no covers on this album. It's definitely another one you would find in the Acid Archives. Super rare and sought after. The Probe label. I got this. I already have this. I have a weak VG Plus. This is the poster insert that comes upside down. A weak VG Plus. My copy is a weak VG Plus. This is a strong VG Plus, so I bought it strictly for the upgrade. Morgen.
Everything you've ever known before. Who cares? It's better than below. I say welcome to the void. I say welcome to the void.
Underground Fire. This is an original 1972 pressing. This is, it's an amazing album. That word's overused, but I love it. Dillon from Noble Records found the original, and he loved it so much that he went and re-released it. It wasn't even in Discogs. I got this OG from him. It has amazing fuzz guitar. I love fuzz guitar, and if you like fuzz guitar, you're gonna like this album. The songs are good, the music is good. It's great. Now that I have this OG, I have the Dillon's reissue right there, and I have the test pressing, so I've got my fill of Underground Fire. It is nothing like the Ventures Underground Fire, but this is a good album. Dillon did a video talking about this album and how he acquired the rights, and he did it with one of the band leaders. I forgot which one. I'll leave a link of that video in the description. The CA Quintet, A Trip Through Hell, 1969 on Candy Floss. This is a super rare psych album. It's on many people's most wanted list. This is a band from Minnesota, just right where the Litter and the Paisleys. They put out a lot of interesting psych albums in Minnesota, but this is a true holy grail. This album sold out the day that it came out, but it was only released in Minnesota. They never got a national deal. The label, Candy Floss. Around 1994, Sundazed re-released this album, and that got it a renewed interest, and now prices for these go really high. In Den Bosch, a few weeks back, there was an acetate for this that was selling for $8,000. I don't think it sold, but they were selling for $8,000 for an acetate. Really good, trippy psych with a great, crazy drum solo. You should check it out. Get that Sunday's reissue. Scorpions, Lonesome Crow from Germany, 1972. This is a first pressing on the Brain label. I've been looking for this one for a long time. This is not your mother's Rock You Like a Hurricane Scorpions.
Rock you like a hurricane.
This is prog rock, krautrock, hard rock, psych. Really, really, really good stuff. Obviously, gatefold. The song ends, the Lonesome Crow title track ends the album. It's 13 minutes. It's a really good record. I've been looking for this one for a long time. I have a couple of the US pressings, but I've never been able to find a German pressing, and happy that a friend of mine went to Den Bosch, found this, and brought it back for me. Scorpions, Lonesome Crow. This is Dantalion's Chariot. This is a reissue on Gerson. This is a band from the UK in 1967 who I don't know too much about. I know they had one song called Man Man Running Through the Fields, a single, and they never released an album, and Gerson put this out just last month with all their singles that they recorded in '67. They played the UFO Club alongside Pink Floyd and Soft Machine. Andy Summer, the guitar player and sitar player on this, would leave this band and join Soft Machine, and then about 10 years later, he would be in The Police, the Andy Summers of The Police. I gave it a quick listen. It's psych pop, better than your average psych pop, but maybe it's a grower. Dantalion's Chariot. I think I'm saying that correctly. Another reissue on Gerson that I got in was Creation of Sunlight. The band's name is Sunlight, Creation of Sunlight. I don't know this at all. The hype says prime cut, late 60s California sunshine pop, acid rock. They're from Long Beach, California. It says sunshine pop. I don't normally like sunshine pop. It's supposed to sound like Strawberry Alarm Clock, The Association, Clear Light, and the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band. I haven't played it yet. I prefer my psych hard, but maybe this would be good. I love the cover. Long Beach, California. Sunlight, Creation of Sunlight. The last two albums I got at a record show a couple weeks ago. Won't say too much about it, but it's the Doors' first album. This is Stereo. It's a 1967 earlier reissue. Haven't played it yet. I still need a first pressing mono. And the last album I got was 1968's Waiting for the Sun. Great album. This is a first press on Monarch. Monarch pressed from Elektra Records, obviously. It has the Hello, I Love You hype. This is a great album. Doors, Waiting for the Sun. Those were my psych vinyl finds for the past month. Like and subscribe if you like this type of content, and I will see you on the next video.
I'm not like everybody else. 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 I'm not gonna mope around like everybody else. I'm not gonna spend my time like everybody else. I won't say they laugh, that's fine.
Everything you've ever known before. Who cares? It's better than below. I say welcome to the void. I say welcome to the void.